Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. Very busy morning, Friday, May 17th.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
This morning, at least 4 people are dead as powerful storms clobbered parts of the Houston metro area. Take a look at this video, new video showing the moment when high winds sent large pieces of debris flying right outside a bank in downtown Houston. Other videos showing scary moments as blustery winds cause utility poles to explode.
And north of Houston in the Bryan College Station area, people there are dealing with some major flooding issues. Many are braving the high water over roadways. Meanwhile, low-lying areas near creeks are flooded out after heavy rain caused those streams to swell. Now,
a live look right now over at the city of Houston this morning. At this hour, at last check, about 740,000 customers are still without power, according to CenterPoint Energy. At one point, almost 1 million were without power in the overnight hours. Let's check in now back here at home with Mike. We had some isolated storms overnight. What's happening right now?
All right, everything that was associated with that. I'm going to show you that radar coming up a little bit later on in long weather. But we do have some storms that are developing down to the southwest. More on that in just a second. First of all, it is actually kind of pleasant when you step outside. Look at that bottom number. Dew points at 61. It was about 10 degrees or so higher yesterday. We had all that humidity, which fed some of these storms. Temperature is 64. We're actually slightly below normal right now. Some high clouds out there. 85 for a high temperature later on today. So we are going to be closer to a normal high. It's not going to be sticking around, I'll tell you that. The aquifer dropped down 1/10 of a foot in yesterday's reading, and the allergens, mold moderate, and grass is on the low side. So take a look at radar right now. And again, these storms, which just about hour, 2 hours ago, there was hardly anything showing up on radar, and these things have really started to blow up. And as you can see, a ton of lightning strikes that. Yes, these are the ones Mark just asked. Are these the ones that we can see looking down to the south? Yes, indeed, because there's, like I said, just a ton of lightning strikes there. They are sliding up to the northeast at 25 miles per hour, but individually, some of these cells are producing 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Dimmitt County, as well as a little bit of hail. I'm going to take the lightning off right now, and you can see these bullseye cells right there. And to show that the hail, which it's about, say, penny-sized hail, so it hasn't reached severe size yet, which would be 1-inch diameter hail or greater than that. But we do have those spots with some hail, and then also the rain rate with these storms. I mean, this is just coming down in buckets, where you can see some of these right there in portions of McMullen County, LaSalle County, 4 inches per hour, 3.5. At one point, one of these storms, as you can see, 7 inches per hour. That doesn't mean you'll get that much rain because they are moving, but it is just coming down in buckets. Definitely, I guess you'd call that sort of a gully washer, if you will. And these are continuing, like I said, to work their way up to the northeast at 25 miles per hour. So there are indications that they are holding together. So in Atascosa County, you want to watch out for some of these storms and then sliding up. If you're planning on going down 37, you will run into some of these storms as they continue to work their way up to the northeast. And they will be producing some very blustery winds, as well as a little bit of probably pea to penny sized hail, about 1/2-inch diameter hail, maybe getting up toward nickel size. Temperatures back to the 50s in portions of the hill country, maybe a light jacket, and 63 in low to 65 at Randolph as of right now. 78 at noon, and then 85 for high temperature today. There's another little impulse that looks like it wants to move into the hill country later on tonight. We'll talk more about that, and then take a look at a very hot weekend and a hot week coming up as well. More on that in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ, what's going on, sir?
All right, Mike. Yeah, things starting off a little bit quiet on the roads right now in the greater San Antonio area, but we will continue to keep an eye on some of those storms, especially in the southern parts of our viewing areas. We take a look here, 281 at north at Loop 1604. We still have ongoing construction taking place here on the far north side of town. You see that we have one of the exit ramps that's blocked there to 1604, and that's what our maps are showing right now. Again, 281 northbound, the exit there at 1604, and we're seeing a little bit of backup here over in the Redland Road area, but no major delays or other accidents in this area. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on there on the north side, let you know about any developments there. Construction taking place here, US Coast 90 westbound at Nogalitos. This is going to be right there off of 10 and 35 at 90. But it looks like they are starting to pick up some of the work out there in that area on the near west side of town. Everything else across the city, again, looking pretty good. No major accidents, no major delays at the moment right now, but we will continue to keep an eye on this ongoing construction and, of course, giving updates here on the 1604 North Expansion project, because that is going to be a major closure. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a bit. Stephanie, Mark, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. Well, for the second time in 2 days, police have arrested a Schertz-Cibolo Universal City ISD student for taking a gun to school. 17-year-old Samuel Rodriguez is now facing a felony charge. No one was hurt in that incident yesterday, and it happened at Allison Steele Enhanced Learning Center. Now, according to the district, school officials told Schertz police that a student had brought a gun to the campus. Officers later found that Rodriguez was in possession of that weapon. They arrested him while he was at home and then took him to the Guadalupe County Jail. This may sound familiar because earlier this week we told you about the student who was found with a gun on the Clemens High School campus.
The San Antonio Independent School District is expected to vote on its final 2024-2025 budget in just 1 month.
And more tough decisions are ahead, even after 15 schools are set to close. And as Avery Everett shows us, choosing what to cut or change will not be easy.
School's almost out, but budget talks for the San Antonio Independent School District have only just started.
It is a really difficult situation.
SAISD sent this warning in April that its board would face, quote, tough decisions for the 2024-2025 budget. This comes after the district already decided to close 15 schools starting next fall under its right-sizing plan.
Our children are aware that something's happening.
Trustees are expected to vote on the budget in June. And families across the district say it's hard to hear that more change could be coming.
We feel welcomed here. We belong here.
This Pershing Elementary mom asked us not to show her face on camera. With 4 kids in SAISD schools, she says she has several questions.
Cutting the budgets for what? Why? Why aren't we making more?
In a statement, SAISD says it comes down to declining enrollment and dwindling state funds. This spring, the district has considered cutting vacant spots and freezing, quote, non-mission critical positions at the central office. It could also restructure district-level staff, reduce workday calendars, and decrease some programming.
SAISD says it's trying to be as efficient with its limited resources as possible. That's one of the reasons why they sold these 12 acres of land off Lord Road to the city about a month ago. SAISD says this could help them save some money in the long run, but ultimately it isn't a part of any right-sizing efforts.
So much is still unknown.
The school closure process has been an incredibly challenging one.
The district has its final budget workshop scheduled for next Wednesday, May 22nd. And the community hopes to get a clear picture of the changes at that meeting.
For the time and location of that meeting next week, we have all of that information right now on KSAT.com. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
This morning, back to deadly storms slamming parts of the U.S. South after the highest level of alert for life-threatening floods. Widespread power outages reported, as we said, and it's Houston, including downtown, that's been hit the hardest.
And as ABC's Rhiannon Alley has reports, the severe weather continues today further east.
Overnight, deadly storms sweeping through the Gulf Coast.
It's bad. It just looks like the bomb went off.
In the Houston area, violent winds and flash flooding killing at least 4 people. Massive trees toppling into the streets, crushing homes as rescuers rush to help. Down power lines exploding outside an apartment building. While rows of transmission towers were left mangled by the storm, more than 1 million Texans left in the dark as the howling winds and torrential rains battered the region.
I can't emphasize enough the danger of fallen trees and fallen utility wires. Downtown is a mess. It's dangerous due to the glass and the lack of traffic lights. So stay at home.
In downtown Houston, streets littered with debris. 100-mile-an-hour winds blowing out windows in these high-rises. The wall of this bar crumbling, leaving a gaping hole in the side of the building, while the doors and windows of this building rattled violently as it was battered by debris.
I was freaked out. No, it was scary. I was scared like the roof was gonna get torn off. I was scared something's gonna fly through the window and start breaking windows. It was scary.
This morning, schools are closed. Officials urging non-essential employees to stay home. And the threat isn't over yet. Areas from Louisiana to Florida could see severe flooding today. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
This was expected, but now it's official. Victor Wembanyama is on France's preliminary 2024 Olympic roster. The NBA Rookie of the Year will play alongside key players like Rudy Gobert, Nicolas Batum, and Evan Fournier. Wemby and Gobert are the top two defenders in the NBA, and Gobert and Wemby finished 1-2 for NBA Defensive Player of the Year. The 19-player roster will be trimmed down to 12 for the tournament. At the Olympics, France will be in Group B alongside Germany, Japan, and the winners of an upcoming qualifying tournament. It's now been over a year since the Spurs won the 2023 NBA Draft Lottery and the right to draft for Victor Wembanyama.
Time now, 5:10 and 65 degrees for now.
Glad you're with us on this Friday morning. Still ahead on the morning show, how Google is making it easier for people with low vision to find objects on Android devices.
Also next, we're going to hear from the first person ever to receive Elon Musk's Neuralink brain implant that allows a person to control a computer with their mind.
And outside with live cam this morning, very humid after more scattered showers overnight. And yes, if you're seeing flashes well south of San Antonio, those are big storms down closer to the valley.
Welcome back. It is 5:14. Well, the first patient to receive Elon Musk's Neuralink brain implant that allows a person to control a computer with their mind is speaking about living with this groundbreaking technology. ABC's Will Reeve has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, one-on-one with the first Neuralink patient.
This is all from there to there. Yeah, man.
Wow. Nolan Darbaugh says he dove headfirst in waist-deep water, struck something, and sustained a spinal cord injury. Then, just last year, Nolan, now 30, receiving a life-changing opportunity.
One day, one of my buddies from college called me up. We talked pretty regularly, and he was like, hey, Neuralink, they opened up the human trials.
Neuralink, co-founded by Elon Musk, is an experimental implantable brain-computer interface, or BCI. A chip surgically implanted by a robot that allows the patient to control a computer or smartphone with their mind.
I can control a computer just like anyone else can, which is not something I was able to do beforehand.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more on this groundbreaking medical technology. With your GMA First Look, I'm Will Reeve, ABC News.
5:15, 65 degrees.
Look out there with TransGuide right now. You can see still flashing lights over there at Highway 281 at Loop 1604. We're going to be getting a check-in with RJ about all the construction happening around town.
The schedule is out. Bring it. The anticipation is through the roof. Stafford's coming home. This is a heavyweight matchup. Breaks a tackle, he's gone. Welcome to the NFL. Bring it. It's a family affair. Yeah. The building is rocking. Let's go. Are you ready to take?
Crunchy. Ooh.
Tasty.
Oh.
Sweet or savory.
Always satisfying.
Give me Blue Diamond. Crunchy, tasty, sweet or savory. Always satisfying. Give me Blue Diamond.
Crunchy, tasty, sweet or savory. Always satisfying. Give me
Blue Diamond almonds.
Hey, it's your dry skin. Every day we lose ceramides I need to seal in moisture. CeraVe delivers 3 essential ceramides to help restore my barrier so I can lock in moisture, feel hydrated, and look healthy. CeraVe Facial Moisturizing Lotions.
Welcome back. Mike Osterhage, busy getting things together over there. It's been kind of a busy morning, and you were just telling us during the commercial break, Mike, that some of the storms just south of our viewing area have gone severe.
South of Cotulla in southern LaSalle County and down around Webb County has gone severe. They're reporting inch-diameter hail. Now, some of the storms ahead of that are kind of, it looks like maybe weakening a little bit, but there's one that's kind of building a little bit. So I'll show you that in a second.
Okay, we just wanted to get that word out real quick. RJ's here. Good morning.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, unfortunately, the road's looking pretty quiet right now. Of course, we will continue to keep an eye exactly what's going to go down there on 37 for all of our viewers out in the southern parts of our viewing area. But taking a look here at TransGuide traffic cameras, biggest thing that we're seeing across the greater San Antonio area is going to be construction. Yes, construction. Cannot say it enough. 37 Jones Avenue, though, traffic is moving pretty good there. I-10 at Brazos, of course, they are doing that joint work there in the upper levels of I-10. I-10 at the Y right there in the downtown area. Traffic looking pretty good there as well. As we take a look at some ongoing lingering construction from overnight. 281 northbound at 1604. Still have some of the flyover ramps that they're still doing some work on in this area on the far north side of town, but not causing too many delays at the moment right now. And we still have this ongoing construction here, 90 westbound at Nogalitos for all of our drivers on the near west side of town. Maybe you're coming into the downtown area from 35 or from 90. Just keep that in mind. You might run into that situation there. Taking a look at the rest of the city, only major delays we're seeing at the moment right now is that ongoing situation there, 35 southbound as they continue that work on the northeast expansion. All right, let's get to this here because 1604 I-10, we're going to have some major closures this weekend, but there is a little bit of good news too here, so don't want to completely focus on the negative here, but tonight at 9 o'clock we will have a full closure of the interchange here, 1604 to I-10. This will start at 9 o'clock tonight, weather permitting, and last through Monday through 5 a.m. So basically 1604 east and westbound will be closed, La Cantera all the way to Stone Oak Parkway. I-10 will be shut down in both directions, UTSA Boulevard all the way up to La Cantera by the rim. You see there, this affects Northwest Military, Blanco, Bitters. It's a lot of major intersections here that this is going to be affecting. But by Sunday morning, we should have 3 lanes open in each direction, basically from Vance Jackson all the way to Stone Oak Parkway. So that is if they are able to get this work done in enough time here to reopen some of the lanes there on 1604. So that's something that we will continue to monitor throughout the weekend. All right, Mike, I know things are certainly getting busy out there in the weather department. How are things looking outside this morning?
Well, here in town, it's fairly pleasant when you step outside. But again, down to the southwest is where the focus is as of right now. And these things, like I said, have just blown up over the past couple of hours. And as you can see, we do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings that are posted. This is for LaSalle County, and it's all this whole warning right there, but for LaSalle County, it's in effect for the next about 20-25 minutes up until 5:45. And there are reports that this is about inch diameter hail, which does qualify or is one of the thresholds to make it a severe thunderstorm. These are all moving to the east or to the northeast at 25 miles per hour. Let me take the lightning off right now, as well as the outline for the severe storm. And you can see those kind of dark areas. Usually that is associated with either very heavy rainfall or some hail. And you can see here's 2 cells or 3 areas where we are seeing some hail. This right there in McMullen County, which is moving almost over toward 37, and then all of the hail cell right there, that cluster of hail in the severe storm. Now, as far as rainfall rates, and this is what we're also looking at, this is coming down just in buckets as well. So these cells are producing rain at the rate of about 5 inches per hour. Back out here to the southwest, about 7 inches per hour. Now, again, that doesn't mean you'll get that much rain, but it is just, like I said, coming down in buckets, kind of a gully washer, if you will. And that's why we need to watch out for some flooding in some of the low-lying areas as well. Back to the radar picture. Again, these storms will continue to work their way to primarily the northeast at about 25 miles per hour. And let me zoom out here just a little bit. And as you can see, Pleasanton looks like these may graze just to the south of you, but they are going to be coming across 37 right here. So if you are heading down 37, obviously if you're heading down just to the south, Cotulla, you're getting a really good light show, and I'm sure you're hearing quite a bit with all of the lightning strikes as well as the thunder. But other than this one cell right here, some of these storms almost look like they are wanting to maybe ease a little bit. But you got that cell leading the way that is producing some hail. Temperatures right now, you might need a jacket, believe it or not, in parts of the hill country. We're in the 50s and then mid 60s elsewhere. We are actually below normal right now, and the dew point has dropped down considerably, about 10, close to 15 degrees compared to this time yesterday. Throughout the rest of today, we have the chance for some showers and those leftover storms down to the south. Plenty of clouds hanging around here, and then 85 high temperature. There are indications that we are going to start to see some more of these storms that are going to try and pop up in portions of the hill country. We're jumping ahead to tonight, another little disturbance out there in the hill country tonight. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on that. But for this morning, the focus is down to the south. 85 today, 95 then over the weekend. Plenty of sunshine. Humidity is still going to be held in check, so not too awfully humid this weekend. But notice the low temperature stay in the mid-70s next week. That means a bunch of humidity, a lot of sunshine. There may be a glimmer of light as far as rain late next week, but you're just going to have to keep your fingers crossed for that. More coming up after this.
TikTok is testing uploading longer videos that could compete with YouTube. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, TikTok is testing 60-minute video uploads with select users. It's moving beyond its original 15-second format. Their goal is to compete with YouTube by allowing more detailed content. There's no immediate plan, though, for a wider rollout. Next, Sony Music Group is sending a warning to AI companies. In a letter to 700 AI developers, Sony Music is prohibiting them from using its music for training or developing AI without explicit permission. The company asked the AI developers to provide details of its music used by next week. Finally, Google is updating its accessibility apps for users with poor vision or blindness. Lookout is now reading documents and identifying objects, while Look to Speak is letting users communicate with photos and symbols. And Google Maps is now offering improved screen reader support and wheelchair info on desktop. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
529, 65 degrees.
Get ready to fly to Germany. Up next, we're live at San Antonio International Airport as the city gets ready for direct flights to Frankfurt.
And there's a lot going on this weekend across the Alamo City, including a visit from Stevie Nicks. We'll get you caught up ahead on GMSA at 6. Good morning. It is Friday, May 17th.
We made it to Friday.
We made it.
Yes. And you've been kind of busy this morning.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the talk has been about some of the storms that moved through parts of the hill country, northeast over by Houston. Of course, we're going to have more on that. But we do have some storms down to the southeast this morning. First of all, 64 degrees. It is pleasant when you step outside. Dew point is down about 10 compared to this time yesterday. We are actually below normal. A little bit of a northerly wind. Now, don't get used to that. It's not going to last forever. Okay, here's what's going on down to the south and to the southwest. We've got these clusters of storms which have been developing. This severe thunderstorm warning right here for portions of LaSalle County, that is scheduled to expire in just about 15 minutes at 5:45. Inch diameter hail has been reported with this cell. So let me get rid of, and you can see the lightning strike. So folks down to the southwest around Cotulla, I mean, you are definitely getting a light show, and I'm sure it is very, very noisy going down across 35 on the southwest side. And I want to take off the lightning and that, and you can see that the rainfall rates, and this is something else that we're going to have to watch out for with these storms, it is coming down at the rate of about anywhere from, say, 5 to close to 7 inches per hour. You won't get that much, but this is the kind of thing that can cause some flooding very quickly. The storms are moving at 25 miles per hour, in some cases a little bit stronger than that or a little bit quicker than that, but it can still dump a lot of rain. It can still cause a little bit of minor flooding in places. And we've got these other bullseyes. This one is just about to cut across 37 right there, which is coming down at the rate of, let me see right there, 5.5 inches per hour again. So low-lying areas, you may run into a little bit of flooding. Also, as far as how much rain has fallen just in the past, now this is the 12-hour total, but we're looking at all this coming down in a matter of maybe a half an hour or so. So right here, just in about 2 inches of rain, we got some other 2-inch rain amounts. So this is radar kind of cuts off here, but about the same thing, inch and a half, 2-inch rainfall amounts that have fallen just in about the past, hour or so. So that's why we are seeing a little bit in the way of some flooding. And this is all going to continue to work its way up to the north and east at 25 miles per hour. There are some indications that these are starting to sort of die down a little bit, but until they do, we have got just a whole bunch of lightning strikes and the heavy downpours as well as some of that hail. 64 in town, 50s in parts of the hill country as of right now. Pleasant this morning, and then we have the showers, storms down to the south and to the southwest. Mostly cloudy today, mid 80s, and a chance for a couple of showers or a storm up to the northwest in the hill country later on tonight. Another one of these little disturbances sliding on through here. We heat up on the weekend. Humidity is going to be okay. Then humidity really comes in here. It's going to be very hot next week, hoping for some rain late in the week. Just keep your fingers crossed for that. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ. What are the roads looking like?
All right, Mike. Yeah, things are actually pretty quiet out there. So if you're about to step outside right now, we got pretty clear roads throughout most of the city of San Antonio. As we take a look at some of our TransGuide traffic cameras, 10 at De Zavala, traffic moving pretty well both directions there. 35 north at Loop 410, same situation there for our drivers on the east side of town. Let's show you our map here because, again, we have cleared out that construction there at 281, 1604, that overnight construction. Actually, crews there have been pretty good about getting that out of the way by the time we hit about 5:30, even before 6 o'clock. So good job by those crews out there. 90 westbound Nogalitos, that has also cleared out for our drivers on the west side of town. We, of course, are still dealing with some construction here on the northeast side of town. Seeing a backup here on the northbound lanes, basically from Agora Parkway, Olympia Parkway, the Forum area, all the way down to Pat Booker Road for all of our drivers that are traveling north through 35 on the far northeast side right now. But again, guys, everything else is looking pretty good. We will definitely take it on our Friday morning. That's that construction there on the northeast side. So again, we'll definitely take what we're seeing right now on the roads, but we'll continue to monitor things, give you more updates here in just a bit. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. Live look at San Antonio International Airport this morning. How about a getaway to Germany this weekend with no connections required? The first nonstop transcontinental flight to Europe takes off from Texas tonight right here in San Antonio. It is a huge deal and opens a lot of doors for South Central Texas to do business with European countries.
Our Patty Santos is live at the airport right now where they're getting ready for a big welcome party. Good morning, Patty.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, in about 13 hours, that flight from Frankfurt, Germany, arrives in San Antonio, and then a couple of hours later, the first San Antonians head over to Germany. This flight is sponsored by Condor Airlines. The company has been around since the 50s, and I checked last night, and an economy ticket was going for about $700. The flight is about 10 and a half hours nonstop trip. I spoke with Jacob Reiler, Chief Air Service Development Officer with the San Antonio Airport, and he tells me the airport has been working on luring an airline to offer a flight to Europe from our area here for many years. He says with our area's rich German ties, the military connections to Germany, and the potential to open up economic opportunities for South Texas, these are all factors leading up to this partnership.
And is really going to open up the ability for more and more people to explore Europe, either for the first time ever, or maybe have more trips and maybe trips that they've put off, especially during the pandemic. That's really going to be able to have them go. And another big part of that, too, is businesses. A lot of times you talk to businesses, they may go to Europe once a year because that's all that's in their budget.
And again, that flight arrives around 6 p.m. tonight. There's going to be a big welcome party here at the airport for those folks. Coming up later in the newscast, we're going to talk about what there is to do in Frankfurt. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Patty. Well, meanwhile, American Airlines will soon begin its push to fly direct routes from San Antonio to Washington, D.C.'s Reagan National Airport. This is after President Biden signed the Federal Aviation Administration reauthorization bill. So it authorizes 5 new round-trip slots into Reagan. This is a route that city and state leaders have been wanting for several years. Greater San Antonio, Texas says this will help the military, civilians, and businesses.
Even though we are growing, we are not losing what is the essence of our city, what brings us together, the neighborly aspect of it, the community aspect of it. You know, the fact that you're one margarita away from a major decision maker anywhere you go in this town. So I am not afraid of the growth of San Antonio because I do believe in the soul of our city.
This morning, new funding is coming in to keep the Migrant Resource Center open. And while some migrants have taken shelter at the airport, the majority have relied on the center for help. City Council voted 10-1 to accept $21.7 million from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. District 10 Councilman Mark White was the lone opposing vote. So now the approved council ordinance says the money will cover operational costs at the MRC through September of 2026. The city's migrant dashboard shows the number of migrants taking shelter in San Antonio has dropped slightly over the last few months. Former President Donald Trump's hush money trial turned heated yesterday. It happened when the defense accused Michael Cohen of lying about a phone call he said he had about the alleged deal with adult film star Stormy Daniels. Despite the fiery interrogation, Cohen stood by his testimony, maintaining that he spoke to both Trump and Trump's bodyguard Keith Schiller in a phone call. Prosecutors say Cohen is the last witness. Trump's attorneys say they have not decided whether to call Trump to testify in his own defense.
Well, a House Oversight Committee meeting developed into a bizarre exchange yesterday. So you can call it MTG versus AOC, or maybe Mascara Gate. Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez got into a verbal spar over eyelashes.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aww.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl? I don't think
we are going to move and we're going to take your words down.
I second that motion.
Well, this all started with a comment made by Texas Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett about the reason for the meeting. It was to discuss holding Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt for refusing to hand over audio recordings of an interview with President Joe Biden.
541, 65 degrees.
The city of San Antonio and the municipal court judge have deemed a local church a habitual noise violator. Up next, what happens now that the church is on probation?
And Mike Ostrade is tracking some storms well south or southwest of San Antonio. Will any of them skim our southern counties, places like Atascosa County? He's tracking the latest as we take a live look downtown. Calm things here in downtown. A San Antonio church is now on probation with the city.
As our John Paul Barajas explains, it's all for playing its bells too loud.
A habitual noise violator. That's what the Infant Jesus of Prague Church has been deemed by the city and a municipal court judge.
It was very loud at one time. It was constant, like all week long.
Neighbors say the church off of West Woodlawn plays the sounds of church bells too loudly. Those complaints got the attention of the city's Development Services Department in April 2023.
My stomach hurts. It makes me angry that I have to live here. This is my sanctuary. And that is it's unacceptable. I really wish something would be done.
At that time, the city said the church was abiding by city code. But over the last 6 to 8 months, Development Services tells us the church has violated the noise ordinance at least 4 times.
All he had to do was really turn down the speakers, and you could still play them. It's allowed if he keeps it under the noise threshold, the noise limits. But he chose not to.
When fines didn't get the church to comply, the city took priest John Gabriel to municipal court. Development Services Director Michael Shannon says the judge put the church on probation.
And what that means is if we do find him in violation of the noise ordinance in the next year, we have about a year timeline, then we'll confiscate that equipment.
We went to the church and spoke to the priest briefly. He told me the decision wasn't right, but declined to comment further and didn't want to go on camera. A change from what he told our crews last year.
Don't like the noise? Buy us out. Otherwise, then shut the hell up.
His message from the onset that as a church, he was granted the ability to do what he pleased and how he pleased.
Well, as I told him directly when I met with him and talked with him several times, we completely disagree. Just being a church doesn't give you free reign to do whatever you want and violate city codes.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
And our team will keep you posted. Right now, 546, 65 degrees.
Let's look out there with TransSky, looking over at Highway 151 at Loop 410. And now looking at a shot of Highway 90 where things are moving this morning. We're going to get a check-in with RJ about the other roads, especially the ones with construction, and what to look out for over the weekend.
5:50 right now. Hopefully you guys are having a good start to your Friday morning and things looking good out on the roads right now. If you're about to step outside, 37 Hackberry traffic moving along pretty smoothly in both directions there. See if we get one more here. 37 at Jones Avenue, same situation there as well. The only thing that we're seeing in terms of any sort of major delays or backups at the moment is going to be on the northeast side, where we have just, of course, ongoing construction in this area, this time affecting all of our traffic coming in from the northbound lanes of 35, basically from Topperwine Road, stretching all the way to Olympia Parkway, and now kind of going even past Olympia Parkway. So both directions, I-35, you kind of already know the drill, been a little bit of a mess over the past couple of weeks or so, and that's not going to be going away anytime soon. Speaking of not going away here, want to remind you about this because we have another major closure here, 1604 and I-10. So the past couple of weeks, we've had a little bit of relief in this area because Mother's Day, they ended up opening things up a day earlier, but that will not be the case here. All 4 Cloverleafs will be closed starting tonight, 9 o'clock. Basically 1604 east to westbound also will be closed from La Cantera to Stone Oak Parkway, and also I-10 from UTSA Boulevard to La Cantera at the rim. That will also be closed starting tonight with all this work kind of wrapping things up hopefully by Monday morning. But here's a little bit of a wrinkle in this whole thing, is that right now TxDOT, if they can get a lot of this work done here on 1604, they are hoping to have main lanes back open on 1604 here starting on Sunday. So basically this stretch from Vance Jackson to Stone Oak Parkway, if they could get all this work done in time, we will now have 6 main lanes open in both directions here. So 3 in the eastbound lanes, 3 in the westbound lanes. So hopefully we are keeping our fingers crossed that that will be the case out there for our drivers on the far north side and northwest side of town, because we all know that this has definitely been a pain in the neck to say the least here, but we will continue to update you on that throughout the entire weekend. All right, Mike, I know it's been a very busy start to your Friday morning. How are things looking out there?
Well, we've still got some very hefty rain down to the south, but things are definitely starting to wind down. First of all, as this is looping on through, notice that the severe thunderstorm warning was allowed to expire at 5:45, and also note how the lightning strikes are just almost kind of a thing of the past, if you will. It is definitely starting to weaken because we had a whole bunch going on right as that crossed over 35, and now things are definitely settling down. But we still have some fairly hefty downpours around the area, so we're still going to have to watch out for that. As a matter of fact, let me show you what the rainfall rates are still as of right now. We've got them coming down here at the rate of, in these cells, right about 5 inches per hour. Again, this one has really started to weaken down to about 1 inch or so, and right there 4 inches per hour. So you're still getting some very hefty rain. And as far as how much rain has already fallen just in the past couple of hours, and I know this is the 12-hour, but as you can see, some of these spots you picked up, maybe this is radar estimated close to 2 inches of rain. And again, that all came almost all at once. So that's why we're going to have to watch out for, in some of the low-lying areas, a little bit in the way of some flooding and a lot of that standing water. This is moving across 37, so if you are heading down to the southeast, down to the coast, you're going to run into some of these hefty downpours, and this will continue to work its way across LaSalle, McMullen counties into Live Oak County, and then a little bit further up to the north, we do have a few of these showers, even around Pleasanton, Poteet. Looks like it may just be grazing the extreme south and southeastern portion of Bexar County, and this will continue on in toward Kennedy, Floresville, some of these Beeville. You're going to be getting some of this rain as well. Pleasant temperatures this morning after everything moved through last night. A bit of a front moved on through, so that brought in some drier air. That's allowing temperatures. I mean, you might actually need a light jacket in portions of the hill country right now. As far as the rest of today, we've got the rain down to the south. We'll keep a lot of clouds around here. 78 at noon, 85 high temperature. Another shot at a few showers out in portions of the hill country then later on tonight. Now, tomorrow, a fairly pleasant start. Humidity is going to be okay tomorrow, but we're going to be up into the mid-90s, blazing sunshine. Then the humidity comes back up. Good indication of that is when the low temperatures stay in the mid-70s, mid-upper 90s next week. It is going to be a scorcher. More after this.
Historic day in San Antonio before the city's first nonstop flight to Europe takes off tonight. Patty Santos is live at San Antonio International with what travelers can expect as Condor Airlines arrives in the Alamo City. And checking TransGuide right now, live look at 35 at New Braunfels Avenue. The big news is going to be that I-10 1604 closure this weekend.